Good day. Hello, CJ. Hello, Sister Jeannie, CW, Denise, et al. Happy first Saturday, May 3rd, 2025. And hope you're all well. Thank you for all your support. You guys right there. It's tough out there. Whew. I was just contemplating whether to be thankful for the demonic activity or not. It's like, well, they do help me suffer, that's for sure. And you as well, I'm sure, because when you make a stand like we do, for truth, for fact, it sometimes can be a burden. And one of the practices that I do when it gets to be too much is actually, do the Catholic contemplation and give yourself and your problems over to the Most Holy Trinity, and especially Dea Matronam Nostrae, are good. It's not, I don't have words for her. The relief that you will feel in just that act. So, did anybody? I don't think I noticed anybody make an opinion one way or the other of whether or not I should do the lesson before or after Mass. I will continue doing it the way that I am doing it right now, and we'll see. I also wanted to mention that I did. Maria sent me another email, and she took some time off from detoxing, which is a good thing. You need to do that. Take a few weeks off, and then go back on again to continually cleanse the body. I'm finding that fasting this every Friday is very effective. It's really helpful. It's a great challenge. Excuse me. And it's really good for the soul. All right, let's get started with Good Day Rising prayers, and then we'll continue with Freemasonry. It's a little tricky trying to read. I thought there would be more typing, but it's more about the magazine, the Life magazine article, and I think it was from 1951 or 56. I'm not 100% sure, but they did this whole spread with pictures and descriptions. So I'm going to read from that, and if you follow along at the website, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. In nomine Dei Matronam Nostrae Deum Christum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Most Holy Trinity, and in Catholic contemplation humbly venerate the Divine Family. O Most Holy Trinity, as envisioned by St. Lucia as the Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, most venerable, I believe that thou art here present. I venerate thee with the deepest humility. I render to thee with my whole heart the homage which is due to thee. O Most Holy Trinity, relying on thine infinite goodness and promises, I hope to obtain pardon of my sins, the help of thy grace, and life everlasting, through the merits of Deum Iesum Christum et Dea Matronam Nostrae. O Most Holy Trinity, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, because thou art all good and worthy of all love. I love my neighbor as myself for love of thee, and I forgive all who have injured me and ask pardon of all whom I have injured. Let us thank the Most Holy Trinity for the many graces that we receive, and offer ourselves and our sufferings up to heaven, and for the souls in purgatory. O Most Holy Trinity, I most humbly thank thee for all the favors thou hast bestowed upon me to the present moment. It is again thanks to thy bounty that I should live to see this day, and I desire to employ it solely in thy service. I consecrate to thee all my thoughts, words, actions, and sufferings of this day. Sanctify them, that there may be none that is not animated by thy love, or that would not tend to thy greater glory. Let us make a firm resolution to avoid evil and to do good. And let us beg of the most Holy Trinity the graces which are necessary to us. O most Holy Trinity, thou knowest my weakness, and that I am unable to do anything good without the help of thy grace. Deny me not thy grace, proportionate to my necessities. Give me strength to avoid everything which thou forbiddest, to practice the good which thou hast commanded, and enable me patiently to bear all the trials which it may please thee to send me. O most Holy Mother of God, Dea Matronam Nostrae, I place myself under thy protection. I throw myself with confidence into the arms of thy compassion. Be to me, O Mother of Mercy, my refuge in distress, my consolation in suffering, now and at the hour of my death. O most Holy Trinity, as envisioned by St. Lucia as the most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, Deam Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all my sins, because I dread the loss of heaven and the pains of hell, but most of all because they offend thee, O most Holy Trinity, who are all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve, with the help of thy grace, to confess my sins, to do penance, and to amend my life. Couple quick things. I think I did mention the power outage in Spain and Portugal. There's been more confirmation that it was plasma as the source of the problem, and plasma is, for those who may not be aware, it's like the fourth state of matter, and it's a good way to think of it is the spark between a spark plug gap and that, or even a lightning bolt, and the temperature is so extreme that it changes the color or the state of the element that it's going through. So auroras are plasma, and when they go through a certain atmospheric level where there is more oxygen or more helium or whatever component is the majority of the consistency, and usually that's in layers, you'll get different colors. So the component is the color, and sometimes they come down directly, and they are attracted to other electrical sources, so our electrical grid, transformers, and whatnot. And sometimes they, it's like, it's not necessarily just a line. It can be like a cloud. So it's hard to say, well, it was lightning, or it was this, or it was that. But these instances are increasing as the magnetic field weakens, as we have been talking about. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you my thoughts on that, and it makes sense in the dome model, Earth, where you have electrical current poles, if you will, positive and negative. And when they start to move closer, positive and negative, with electricity or electrons wanting to balance out, you'll get those arcs trying to go to ground, if you will. I'm simplifying this tremendously, but again, that's what's part of this whole process going on. So one other thing is I do want to caution people when they receive what they believe to be messages from God. There's going to be a tremendous amount of that. There is a tremendous amount of that. And there's a tremendous amount of deception in that. And if you're humble, you will understand that that it's more than likely not coming from the Most Holy Trinity. The very few, very rare instances when that happens, it's usually because somebody has lived a life of complete sacrifice and dedication to the Most Holy Trinity, that they attain that transforming union and the beatific vision. Or, as in the case of Fatima, with children, because they are so simple, so innocent, and have a special message, if you will, from Deum. I'm not saying that nobody receives quote-unquote messages from God, but I've studied this quite in depth over the many years that I've been doing this, and in my own experiences as well. I'm just giving a caution, all right? And what tends to happen to the individual that does receive something like this, if they act in a prideful manner and think they know everything because of this experience that they've had, and they act in a non-virtuous Catholic manner, then you know that wasn't from the Most Holy Trinity. And more than likely, because there are spirits, okay, evil spirits that are roaming, looking for those who, especially those who are trying to seek the truth and are in the beginning stages of finding it. They want to trick you, okay, and then they'll bring it around to self. So that was just one other thing I wanted to warn people about. And whenever you do, like I've mentioned in the past, whenever you do Catholic contemplation or Catholic meditation, you must ask for the protection of the Most Holy Trinity while you are in that seeking state, because if you open up, you are susceptible to receiving, especially if you're unfamiliar with Catholic virtue and remaining in a state of grace, or not remaining, or you're not unaware of that. So if you're in a state of grace, it's going to be much more difficult for a spirit to want to come anywhere near you, unless, of course, you're a priest. Then they come and attack. The structure of Freemasonry, and on the website it has the charts and the pictures, and it's very, very advantageous to go there and print them out so that you can see exactly what they are about. And the reason, again, that we do this is so that you can know what they are doing, not so that you can join, okay? And again, I'm not a Freemason. I'm not promoting Freemasonry, all right? As we know, according to their own quote-unquote Bible, the Morals and Dogma, they worship Lucifer, ultimately. Okay, not all the members know that. Okay, so the structure of Freemasonry. American Freemasonry resembles two sets of stairs that begin and end together, as the chart of Masonic structure shows. Okay, you'll have one side and then another side, so it's like it's a pyramid structure. And you have the two, excuse me, the two rites on either side. A Mason's first step is to become an entered apprentice. He climbs to the third step, where most Masons stay. Okay? Most of the useful idiot Masons stay on the third degree, at the third degree. Okay, they're the ones who go around, if you're a Catholic business, and cause you harm. That's their job. They won't buy from your store. They'll spread false rumors about you. That's what they do. If he wants to go on in Masonic hierarchy, he enters either the Scottish or York rites, and that's the sides. Many authorities say the Scottish rite was begun by Scottish emigres in France. The York rite is named after York, England, where, by legend, the first Masonic body was organized. In the Scottish rite, a Mason climbs 30 steps or degrees. The name he takes on at each degree is written on each step in the chart. Where there are two names, the top is used by Northern Masons, the italicized one by Southern Masons. Some figures a Mason meets in the rite ceremonies stand on the steps. From the bottom is King Solomon, King Cyrus, Acolyte, George Washington, Sultan, and the Sultan, and a Sultan, the Sultan. Okay, so I was curious. I was reading this. Those are all quite the characters, and I don't think that I would want to meet them. And I'm just curious where they meet them. Each degree teaches a moral. To earn degrees, candidates learn the moral and participate in a ceremony dramatizing it. The 32nd degree Mason is the highest degree a Mason can earn. 33rd degree, okay, so up to 32, and including 32 is earned. Okay, 33 is awarded by the Supreme Council ruling body of the rite. A Mason in York rite advances 10 degrees known by name and not by degree number. And again, I'm not making this up. This is coming from a Life magazine article in the 50s. On the chart are figures he meets at each degree or the degree symbol. Figures are, on that side, temple workman, past master, Israel tribesman, high priest of Jews, King Hiram of Tyre, the Knight of Malta, and Knight Templar, which is equal in prestige to the 33rd degree in the Scottish rite. Under the arch are organizations allied to Freemasonry. Master Masons are eligible for Grotto and Tall Cedars of Lebanon. And again, where they get the cedars from is what supposedly the trees were made of to build the temple, Solomon's temple. Girls with a Mason in the family can join Job's daughters or Rainbow Girls. Women, the Eastern Star. Boys, De Molay. Only 32nd degree Masons or Knights Templar can join the shrine. A Shriner's wife can be a daughter of the Nile. Most important of many Masonic symbols are the open Bible with square and compass on it. So I had somebody ask me about, since they've been listening to and learning about the true Most Holy Catholic Trinity, they've are getting rid of, cleansing their home of all the old symbols and artifacts that they have had that now they realize are heretical. And so one of the questions was, what about, the Bible? Should we have a Dewey Reams copy of the Bible or a Catholic Bible? And my answer was no. We don't have one. We don't read from it. If you need to reference anything, it's here on the website. So that tells you what I do. Solomon's temple is pictured as well. Again, these are items, symbols that are important. Solomon's Temple, and the G with the all-seeing eye inside. Okay, in the U.S., the G stands for God. Now, I'm not going to read all of these because it's kind of difficult to. When I printed it, it didn't come out clear at all from the magazine, from the website. So it's like a worse and worser. But you'll get an idea here. I was reading the Sovereign Grand Commander of the Scottish Rite is George Bushnell, former Michigan Supreme Court Justice. Okay, so that tells you in America where our justice system is. Okay, then we have the most eminent Grand Master of the Grand Encampment of Knights Templar, Major General Walter A. Lamire, is head of the 3 highest orders of the York Rite. He's also a 33rd degree Mason. Then there's the Sovereign Grand Commander of Scottish Rite's Southern Jurisdiction, and he's ex-state judge Luther A. Smith of Mississippi. He heads, oh gosh, I can't read that. It's either 450,000 Scottish Rite Masons in 33 southern and western states. It's quite busy in the South. So if you're down there, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. The Grand Master of Pennsylvania, Charles H. Nitsch, is an engineer of Philadelphia, wears ornate versions of Master Mason's apron. He is Grand Master of Pennsylvania's Grand Lodge, which rules all the Blue Lodges in the state. Okay, and here they have pictures of Job's daughters and the daughters of the Nile, and how they seduced the girls and the women into this this order, if you will. And there's a lot of pageantry involved, costumes and whatnot, trying to mimic the Jewish old ways. And then we have the dramatic rituals of 2 degrees, which I'm going to read a little bit. I know I'm pushing the length here, but the staging of the most important ritual for a Mason is shown at the right. Okay, the picture's terrible. I'm not going to show you. You have to go on the website. The procedure by which he becomes the 3rd degree or Master Mason. To many Masons, the most coveted honor is bestowed through the secret ritual reenacted below, initiation into the 33rd degree of the Scottish Rite. The 3rd degree ritual is inspired by the biblical story of Hiram Abiff. Hiram Abiff, greatest Mason of his time, was sent by his king. Again, greatest Mason, they mean it in the sense that he was a stone cutter or builder. So he was a stonemason. He was sent by his king, Hiram of Tyre, to help Solomon build his temple. According to Masonic legend, when the temple was finished, Hiram Abiff was killed and buried in the temple. Nice, right? In Hiram's story, Masons find morals on justice and fidelity. I'm not sure how they do that, but okay. The 33rd degree ritual is simpler, the degree being conferred with a ring. This year, 174 Masons were given the 33rd degree, each becoming a Sovereign Grand Inspector General in the Scottish Rite. Among them was Ernest Breach, and I guess they did a story on him in Life magazine, February 28th, 1955. Chairman of Ford's Board of Directors. After the ritual, Breach, a Mason since 1921, called it the absolute ultimate in honors. Imagine that. So that's why we Catholics find it so difficult to be able to accomplish anything in our world, just trying to survive. I mean, if you have judges and corporate owners, they're all part of this clique, which is vehemently anti-Catholic. They don't come out and say it so much, especially not now, because they own pretty much the Catholic Church that is visible today. And so we have to continue to pray the rosary to expose this. I'm going to just show you one picture, which I did take, which shows them with the Bible and the crosses, crossed swords that they have during this ceremony where they were presenting the ring for the 33rd degree. Let me read that really quick, and then we'll have Mass. Judge George Bushnell on the left gives a 33rd degree ring to Ernest Breach. Okay, that was the one that we just mentioned, the Ford guy. And sworn on a Bible indicating the Scottish Rites Supreme Council is in session. Okay, so I don't know. It's just really, really sad that that people get sucked into that, but there must be a certain commitment or something that they can't believe that they can get out of. I can only hope that's the case, but in any case, that's what they're about, and we have to be aware of them. Deum vobiscum, quoque pote, oremus. O most holy Trinity, the Creator and Redeemer of all the faithful, grant to the souls of thy servants and handmaids the remission of all their sins, that they may obtain by loving prayers the forgiveness which they have always desired, who livest and reignest with thee, one divine family, forever and ever. Suscipit Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum Hanc Immaculatum Hostium, quam ego indinius famulos tuus offerit tibi Deum meum vivum et verum, pro enumerabilibus peccatis et offensionibus et negligentis meis, et pro omnibus circumstantibus, sed et pro omnibus fidelibus Catholicorum vivis atque defunctis ut mihi et idis proficietat salutem. Deum qui humanae substantia dignitatem medibidit condidisia medibidus reformatio de nobis spiritus atque tuminum mysterium, eis divinitatis esse votis divinitatis nostra et fieri dinotis pateceps. Deum Iesum Christum Filium, qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Oferimus tibi Deum cadecem saetaris tuum depecantis clementiam ut uc vetu divinae majestatis tuae pro nostra totius mundus salute cum odoris suavitatis ascendat. Et spiritu humiditatis et in animo contritus suscipiam morte Deum Iesum Christum et fiat sacrificium nostrum et vetu tu hodie u placia tibi Deum matronum nostra et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Veni sanctificator Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, et sanctificite plata prosequendo, et accepere hoc sacrificium tuo sanctum nomini praeparatum. suscipe Sancta Trinitas, hunc oblationum quam tibi afferimus a memoriam passionis, resurrectionis et ascensionis Deum Iesum Christum. Et in honorem Deum matronam nostra, et Papa Peter Sanctorum, et Istorum, et omnium Sanctorum, ut idis proficiet ad honorem nobis autem et salutem, et idi pro nobis intercedit et in interim caelis, quorum amorum agemus in teris per in Christum Deum nostrum. Orate, utum eam equestrum sacrificium acceptabile fiat Patrem Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Suscipia Deum Iesum Christum sacrificium de manibus tuis et laudem et gloriam nomini sui, ad utilitatem quoque nostram totiusque ecclesiae suae sanctae. Deum obiscum, quo apate, sursum corda habemus ad Deum, gratias agamus Deum nostrum, dignum et justum est. De icito clementissimi matere patere, Deum matron nostrae, Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per Deum Iesum Christum Filium tuum, Deum nostrae, supplices, rogamus ac petimus. Ut ecate habeas. Et sanctificas haec sanctam sacrificium irripata, in primis quae tibi afferimus pro ecclesiam tuam sanctam catholicam, quam pacificare custodire honore et regere dineris toto orbe terrarum atque catholicae. Memento Deum familiarum famulum. We pray for the sick and the suffering. We especially pray for Katie, Gage, RM, Eleanor Lively, Marie Josephina Mose, Brad, Letitia, Clarette, Mindy, Mark Jr., Barbara and Benedict Santa Croce, Robert Dasco Sr., Jr., Rochelle Dasco, Mr. Nobody, Ann Bultink, the Cantu and Duarte families, Luis Antonio Cantu, Michaela McLarnon and family, Sarah and Becky, Jenna, Lena, Lori, Aaron and family, Maria and the Lineweber family, the Shorten, Kendrick, Dasco, Nye, Tafor, Began, Wolf, and Kane families, and their intentions. We pray that Mr. Nobody receives the funding and strength needed to complete the first Sede Vacantis Catholic Council office in Monastery of Illinois. We pray for an end to all governmental allowance or sanctioning of abortion, transgenderism, transhumanism, child trafficking, child abuse of any kind, anywhere, place, or time. We pray for the establishment of a Catholic monarchy with a sound Catholic system of labor, human value, and medium of exchange with no usury. We pray for courageous men to step forward as leaders of this Catholic society and to encourage Catholic virtues amongst all people, especially in government. We ask with this Mass and our rosaries, please force the world to make the Jews the sole focus of their anger, and please free us Catholics from all financial enslavement to these Jews. Please leave the Jews in Israel unprotected by any government or governmental entities. We ask for a reversal of the feminist ideology and a return to godly femininity and godly masculinity for men. We ask that women cease working for Freemasons and corporations, and that they come to understand the raising of traditional Catholic families is the highest ideal, if that is your state in life. We ask that all pornography, the quote-unquote all gay marriage be banned, as well as the OnlyFans platform. We ask for the conversion of all sinners trapped in a state of mortal sin, especially the ignorant. We ask for all writings, all laws to delete any reference to anti-Semitism. And lastly, we ask you to destroy all forms of Freemasonry and its tentacles everywhere throughout the land, and bring the members into the submission of the Most Holy Trinity, as envisioned by St. Lucia as the Most Trinitarian Theophany, Most Holy Trinitarian Theophany, through correct baptism and confession. All this we ask in accordance with the Most Holy Trinity's divine will and intention. Et omnium circumstantium quorum tibi fides cognita est, et nota devotio pro cubis tibi efferimus, verque tibi affront hoc sacrificium laudis proces visque omnibus, pro redemptione animarum suarum prospet salutis et equulamitatis suae, tibi queredunt volta sua aeterna Deum vivo et vero. Communicantes et memorum honorantes in primis gloriosae, semper Deum maternam nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum. Et beatorum martyrium tuorum Papae Sancti Petri, et Sancti Luci, et Sancti Jacinta, et Sancti Francisco, et Sancti Juan Diego. Et omnem sanctorum tuorum quorum meritis praecibusque concedas ut in omnibus protectiones tuae munum ad exidio per innum Christum Deum nostrum. Quam oblatione de Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum in omnibus consecrate macet tabernacle fecere dineris ut nobis corpum, et sanguim fiat edictissimi filium tuum Deum Iesum Christum. Qui pridie quam pateretur recepit panem in sancta sac honorabilis manus suas, et elevatis oculis in caelum et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum suum omnipotentem tibi gratias agens. Consecravit. Frege didique lumnis sui dicens accipite et mondo cate ex hoc omnes. Hoc est enim corpus meum. Simile modo postquam ceremoniae est accipiens et hunc preclarum calicem in sancta sac honorabilis manus suas et in tibi gratias agens Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Consecrave didique lumnis sui dicens accipite et bibite ex omnes. Hic est enim calix sanguinis mei vestidium fidei, quae pro nobis et pro multis effundetur in remissione peccatorum. Aequat est cum reficeritis in me mono facietis. Unde et memoris Deum nos servituis et plebs tua sancta justum Christum filium tuum Deum nostrae, tambe et passionis nec non et in fidis resurrectionis, sed et in caelos gloriosae ascensionis oferimus, praeclare maiestati tuae de tuis donis actatis, supra quae propitio axere novutur respiциeri dineris. Supplices teragamus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum iube hic preferebam manus tuum, ut quod, ex hoc autoris participationis sacrosanctum Deum Filium tuum, corpus et sanguinem sensenimus, omni sanctificatione caelestia gratia Dei per amor per innum Christum Deum nostrae. We pray for those who have died, and we especially pray for Don Scott, for whom this Mass is being offered. Ipsis Deum et omnibus in Christum quis gentibus locum refugere iducis et pacis, ut ontargeste proclamor per innum Christum Deum nostrum, per quem hic omnia Deum Iesum Christum semper bona creas, sanctificas, vivibicas, consecratis et praestas nobis. Per ipsum et cum ipso et in ipso. Est tibi Deum Matrum omnipotentium unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, omnis honor et gloria. Ave Dea, matronam nostrae, gratia plena Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum tecum. Sanctam tuum in mulieribus, Dea matronam nostrae matram Deum Iesum Christum, misericordia nobis peccatoribus nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Libera nos quaesimus Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum ab omnibus malis, praeteritis, praesentibus et futuris, et intercedente beata gloriosa semper Dei matronam nostrae. Cum Papa Petrum Sanctorum et omnibus sanctis da propitius pacem in diebus nostris. Ut ope misericordiae tuae aduiti et peccato, simus semper liberi et ab omni perturbationis seculi. Periundum Deum nostrum, Iesum Christum filium tuum Deum nostrum. Qui tecum vivit et reinat in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per aeternam. Pax Deum Iesum Christum sit semper vobiscum, et quoque apud te. Haec mixtio consecratio corporis et sanguis Deum Iesum Christum fiat et pietibus nobis in et salutem aeternam. Pax tecum, et quoque apud te. Deum Iesum Christum, qui ex voluntate Deum matronam nostrae, quo operante Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, per mortem tuam unum vivificasti, liberam imperio sacrosanctum corpus et sanguinum, tuum abonibus iniquitatibus meis et universis malis, et facme tui semper in hadere mandatis, et unum quam separare permittas. Qui cum eo Deum matronam nostrae et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum, vivis et regnum aeternam. Perceptio corporis tui Deum Iesum Christum, quod ego indenius sumere praesimo, non mihi proveniat in idicum et condonationem, sed pro tu pietate prosit mihi, ad utumentum mentis et corporis et ad medelam percipiendam, qui vivis et reinas, cum Deum matronam nostrae in unitate Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Panem celestem excipiem et nomen Deum Iesum Christum invocabo. Deum matronam nostrum non sunt dignius, fortutus et meis in tante de corpus nocturnam mea. Deum Iesum Christum non sunt dignius, fortutus et meis in tante de corpus nocturnam mea. Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum non sunt dignius, fortutus et meis in tante de corpus nocturnam mea. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima mea. Corpus Deum nos, quid retubum Deum Iesum Christum pro omnibus quae retubuit mihi, calicem salutaris excipiem in nomen Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum invocabo, laudans invocabo Deum matronam nostrae et ab inimicis meis abocero. Sanguis Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet anima meam. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet animam tuum. Corpus Deum nostrum Iesum Christum custodiet animam tuum. Codori sumus Deum Iesum Christum puramente capiamus et immunere temperae fit nobis remedium sempiternum. Corpus tuum Deum Iesum Christum, quod sum se sanguis quam patavi et heriat, quis gedibus meis apraesta, ut in me non remoniat, scelerum macula quam purat sancta, reficerunt sacramenta. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote, oremus. May the prayer of thy suppliants profit the souls of thy servants and handmaids, we beseech you, O most holy Trinity, that thou mayest free them from all sins and make them sharers in thy redemption, who livest and reignest with thee, one divine family, forever and ever. Deum vobiscum, et quoque apote, ite mise est. Deum gratia. Placia tibi sancta Trinitam, obsequium servitutis meae, et praesta ut sacrificim cor oculis tuae maestatis in unus auctoribus et acceptabili meque, et omnibus proquibus idut auctoriciti miserante percebe epicurus Deum nostrum. Sanctificat vos omnipotens Deum, Matronam et Filium et Spiritum Sanctum, Deum Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. O most holy Trinity, I believe, I venerate, I hope, and I love thee. I beg of thee pardon for those who do not believe, do not venerate, do not hope, and do not love thee. Most holy Trinity, I venerate thee profoundly, and I offer to thee the most precious body, blood, soul, and divinity of Deum Iesum Christum, present here in reparation for the outrages, sacrileges, and indifference by which he himself is offended. And through the infinite merits of his most sacred heart and immaculate heart of Dea Matronam Nostrae, I beg of thee the conversion of poor sinners. In nomine Dei Matronam Nostrae, et Deum Iesum Christum, et Deum Patrum Spiritum Sanctum. Gracias. Thank you for attending. Thank you for your help. And hello, Greg. Hello, OL Carmel. Read the question. Where is this place? City is this? Father still with the church? To be a bull to do mass. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about, but I have an idea. Okay. You really need to study ourladyisgod.com to understand the state of the church, which is not Catholic anymore. It is very difficult because they currently are in heresy across the board, and it's a pretty strong statement, but you have to understand that what's happening. So we are the church right now. It's underground. Look up Saint Athanasius and see how he made the church survive by basically not following the heresy of that time, and it's quite involved. But yeah, I'm not going to get into a whole theological discussion on why most all independent priests say mass at home. Okay, and it's not only within their right, it's an obligation. They have to say mass every day. And so this is where I am saying mass, and I'm sure if some priest, quote unquote, in the Novus Ordo or traditionalist would allow me the use of their church, I would certainly take advantage of that. And I would first of all do an exorcism and then conduct the Mass, the original Mass, okay, not the Lord Mass. And that's what you need to learn what had happened. All right, please go and sanctify all those who meet. We'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. and have a great day.